Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jewel. We're going to start a tutorial series today, and it's the making of this desk set, which I introduced in my last video when I did the giveaway video. And I'm just going to show you, this is a desk set. I call these desk sets, and I make all sorts of different ones. This is the first time I've constructed this type. I just designed it. Let me pull out the folio, and we'll go through that in a minute, and I'm just going to quickly show you the folder, and then we'll get started on the making of one of these. So the folder has a pocket on the front. I did this in botanical theme, and I'll show you the papers I used for that in a minute for this, and decorated the pocket. I used lace for hinges on this, so this could be a dimensional pocket, so you could have a lot of room for other things in there besides your large folio here. And then I just tucked some pretty journaling cards in, and here's a little fabric tag on this journaling card, and some coffee stained paper, and then another tag. And we're going to make some tags and different things, and let me put that aside. So we're going to just do the whole thing, and you guys can either watch it all the way through and then make it, or make it along with me. I only made one of these, so I'm gonna have to refer to this a few times to reconstruct it. Got a little embellishment there, die cuts. I just did some die cuts and stickers, and some burlap fabric here, some cardboard, a little specimen card here, and then this opens up. It's a little door, and then it opens up again. So I want you to take a look at what this looks like. So it would be so pretty sitting up on your desk. And there's a lot of different little pockets and rooms in here for storing things or journaling in, or using it for receipts and notes. I've got a couple of tags here, and even the backs of my tags are made out of file folders. The backs of my pockets are made out of file folders because I buy them in bulk from Amazon Basics. And they work great for backing. I mean, it's like a heavyweight cardstock or a medium weight cardstock for backing things, and for making these desk sets. So then this side folds out again, and we have a diagonal pocket here and a little bit of embellishment. A couple of journaling cards here, a little fabric tag with a little die cut hang tag there, all done in the botanical theme. And then we have a little dimensional folder here. Behind it, I made it so it would be a pocket also. I have two tags, large tags back there, and this is a little bee, because when I think about plants, I think about pollination, I think about bees. So there's that. And then this, whoops, got it caught back here. Oops, I took my whole thread off. And I have to put that back on. This kind of just flips out, and this is like a dimensional pocket in here. And we might not do this. This took me a bit of time to construct. We might just do like an accordion pocket here. So there's a pocket in the front, and then I've got pockets throughout. This kind of just flips up. And then in the middle, this is your main writing room, and this is a refillable notebook here. And I have it secured with some pretty sari, and did a little bit of trim and some die cuts here. And this, you can even tuck behind here if you wanted to. So it could be used as a tuck if the notebook's in there. And this can be removed, slipped right out, and you can add more papers in it. And what I've done is I've added tons of coffee stain paper here. So even though it's nice and compact, there's a lot of room to write on there. And this just pretty much goes in behind there, and it's just for securing the paper. Okay, and then on this side we have the same pretty much except for the folder. So we've got the 2 tags in the pocket that I decorated. Then this comes out and we have the 2 large journaling cards in there. This says field notes. And then this is a tag back here. So I made this folio, little flip down folio into a pocket as well. So I just did, these are book pages, a botanical book, and I'm going to link below this video where I got the supplies and the papers I used for this. So the book I even got off of Amazon, the botanical book. So in this side, I wanted to add some more journaling space or creating space. So I put several pieces of this really lovely handmade paper that I actually found on Amazon, and it's got little flower buds in it, and it really is lovely. A nice texture would be great for doing a little mixed media on, you know, so that's in there. So with that, let me just, put this back together quickly and we will get started. Okay, let me put that aside. I'm using this paper. It's called from Peppa, and these are called gift and creative papers, and they're absolutely beautiful. They come from, I got mine from Amazon, but of course you can decorate yours whichever way you want. So let me just show you these, and there's a lot, and these fold out and out. So I ripped a couple out that we're going to use, and these are so large. Let me just show you real quick. I can't even get them in camera. And these are nice for writing on and everything. They're meant to be like wrapping paper, but they're not. They're much heavier than that. They're even heavier than a copy paper, I think. So you can see how lovely they are. So that's what I'm going to be using in this. And you're going to need 2, actually you're going to need three of these manila folders. And I buy these from Amazon as well, Amazon Basics. And I get a big box of them. Okay, so the middle one, or the folio one, is going to have the tab in the middle, and then the folder that houses it, which I'm calling the jacket, is you can either have one that has the tab on one side or on the other, or it can be in the middle as well, but to get that look where it's stacked, that's why I chose that. Now I have the measurements on the back here, so let's sit down. And I see we have a lot of glare, so it's very dark out. We're having a lot of thunderstorms, so the light may not be the best. And I need to adjust this, slide this, and there. Okay, I'll leave this here so you don't get the glare of the glass, my glass here. Okay, so we're going to cut this down to be an 8-inch here, 8 inches in length, and then 10.5 inches in width. Now, to get the 10.5 inch, you're going to take 1/2 inch off of each side, because this is 11 and 5/8 inches, I think so. But I think these come in different sizes. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5/8. So to get that size, and the reason why I'm cutting it down is it's beveled here, and because we're hinging this, I want it to be flat, so we have to take off of the beveled. So let's go ahead and take 1/2 inch off of each side. Now it's raining. This is, there we go, not quite. Okay, and we're going to take a little off the bottom to make it 8 inches. So make sure it's coming off the bottom. You don't want to cut off that tab. So let me bring this down to 8. Okay. And then now you're going to have 2 pieces. But before I move my cutter, you see how there's this, because it's the folder is lower in the front than the back. We don't want that. So I'm simply going to flip this way and get that folder, line it right up, line it up so that it's even, okay? And that will give, so because we're going to be hinging these, that will give a nicer look when you cover it. So it's the same, the back and the front. So we're just going to cut off that little bit at the bottom where it didn't line up. Okay, so now it lines up. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to, we're going to make this door here. So we're going to take and cut this in half. But I'm going to take an 1/8 of an inch off of each side, because you see how I have this little gap between the doors? That's the door, I call them doors, the flips. That's what you want. So we're going to need to take about an 1/8 of an inch off each side. So let me just take an 1/8 off of that side, 1/8 rather. And then an 1/8 off of this side. Okay. And then now we can cut this in half. So we are going to need, if you're going to do the same measurements, I think we're going to need to cut it into 5 1/8 inches. So if you don't have a center ruler, that's what you would want to do. And that would make it, yeah, 5 1/8 would make it in half. Is that right? Let me just measure. Always measure twice, cut once. Yep. Okay, so let's cut that in half, and those are going to be our doors. Okay, so that's all the cutting we need to do right now until we cut the flaps for the side. We're going to have little flaps for the sides, but we'll get to that after. See how this flaps? So we're going to be making those. Okay, with that, we are going to now start covering. Let me get some of this stuff aside. Put this aside. Get rid of some of these scraps. Keep our workspace neat. Kind of. Try to anyways. Whoops. I don't have a bag over here. Okay, so this is going to go this way. Now, we're going to need to, before we cover this, we're going to need to make this, get some hinges so these two will be attached again. Okay, so we want to attach these. So with that, you're going to need either a scrap piece of, it's not large enough, another file folder, and start cutting it. Now this is, I believe we said 8 inches, so you want your hinges 8 inches. This is a little shorter than 8. I thought we were doing 8 inches. Well, this ended up being 7 3/4. I have no idea why, and no idea. So I'm going to need 7 3/4 inches. I thought I said 8 inches. I don't know. But anyways, it lines up. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Just as long as it all comes together. So let me pull this back out. So I'm going to cut a 7 3/4 inches down here, 7 3/4. And then I like to make them into, that 7 3/4? Yeah, 1.5 inch, 1.5 inch strips for my hinges. And it doesn't really need to be that wide, but I like to make them a little, whoops, don't shift on me. I like to make them a little wider. All right, 1.5. And I'm actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and cut 2 more because we're gonna need them for the flap. The 2 flaps on the inside. They're gonna be a little shorter, but I can trim that off after. All right, so let me put these aside, and these are going to be for the flaps. Let me just write flaps on there. Okay, let's move this. All right, before we put the flaps on though, we're going to, after we put these hinges on, let me make sure these are the right size. They just look like they're just a tad. Let me just take a, no, they're pretty close. Let me see. They can be a little short. Yeah, these are good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm going to fold these in half. And let me get a bone folder so I have a nice crease. And these are going to be our hinges. So we're going to glue one side and then the other. Now, when I do the hinges, let me show you something. So we have, these are gonna tuck right on here just like this. So you're gonna end up, so this will be able to open up. I like to kind of just bevel the edge a little bit. So I'm just going to cut in, well, I don't know if you call that beveling. I guess you call that cutting it in on an angle. Miter, I don't know. Like this, and then it kind of gives a, when you wrap it, it's a, there's no edges getting in the way. See how that fits nice? Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing for the other side, and then we'll glue those. So this will probably end up being a, you know, a 5-part series. So that way, and then that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue this side first. I got a new glue. I got the 3-in-1. I usually use the Fabri-Tac, but I noticed the 3-in-1 is supposed to be very similar. It's by Beacon also. And it was cheaper. So I'm like, you know, I'm going through this Fabri-Tac like there's no tomorrow. And you know, you don't have to use Fabri-Tac on papers. I use the tacky glue sometimes, but for projects, it's a quick grab. And I don't want to really wait for the tacky to dry when I'm doing a video. So we're just going to slip that right over there, line it up. Let me take my bone folder, get that in there. Okay, and then we're going to do the top, and I'm kind of just gonna, oh, you know what? Did I take 1/8 of an inch off? Hold on before I glue that. This, did we take 1/8 of an inch? Yes, we did. I couldn't remember if I took the 1/8 of an inch off because you don't want the doors to hit, because we're also gonna have hinges on here, and I did. Okay. This side looks like it's a little wider than that side. It slightly is. Oh well. Close enough. It's handmade, right? Okay, now we're just going to glue this hinge onto the top. Just put a little bead of glue. I always use way too much glue. That's probably why I go through it so fast. Too much. Line it up. My bone folder. All right, we'll do the other side. What'd I do with my hinge? What'd I do with my hinge? I wish you guys could talk. You could tell me what I did with my hinge. Now I lost my hinge. Where the heck is it? Oh, that's not it. I could have sworn. Okay. Somebody came, the little fairy, the little hinge fairy came in and stole my hinge. Well, for Pete's sakes, let's just use this one. This is fine. It's a little big. I could have swore. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Oh, here it is, right here. There's always a large hole on my desks when I'm filming. I'm telling you, like everything drops into that large hole where I can't find it when I'm filming. For those of you that do channels, does it happen to you? I'm sure it does. I hope it, if it's just me, I don't know. Gee, okay. And usually it's right under my nose, you know. It's right there. All right. Let me see if I can find my bone folder, unless that fell through the hole too. All right. I think the storm is passing. Wait a minute. Yeah. I just want to make sure this was on the right side. You want these, the tabs to be toward on the sides. Wouldn't be the first time I put things together backwards. Line it up. It's hard to see because it's all the same color. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, now we can get covering this. Now, I think we're going to cover the back first, and then we'll cover the sides. Now, I want to cover the very back because I want to flip the paper over to the middle, and you'll see the reason for that in a minute. Because, wait, do I want to do the inside first? I think I'm going to do the inside first now that I'm thinking. No, because then the front shows. I'm thinking. I guess I'm going to use this one. I think I will go ahead and cover the back first. And then get the paper to flip over. And then when I put the paper on it, it will go right up to, it'll look nice and neat, if you know what I mean. And if you don't, keep watching. I'm not even sure if I know what I mean. Okay, now we gotta size this up and figure out how much we need. You see how big this paper is? Oh, it's so big. So I'm going to have to hand cut this. So we want this to be a little longer because I want to flip it over, and I want it to be a little longer at the bottom. So probably leave about 1/2 of an inch, and then 1/2 of an inch at the bottom, and then 1/2 of an inch on each. Well, actually, I don't really, yeah, on each side. Yeah, because I'm going to have to cut this little piece off right here. But then it'll flip over here. But I think I'm going to cover this side separate. So I really only want to go to the edge. And then it's going to flip back over to the other side. That's the only way we can. So, you know, if you guys have a better way of covering things, you know, be my guest to do your own way. But this is kind of the way I'm thinking. And we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Okay, so I cannot, can I get this in the paper cutter? Let me fold it this way. I think I can. let me just fold this in half this way. And if because this is such large paper, I just want things to be, you know, even, straight, and I don't hand cut the best. So if I fold it, I know I'm going to be cutting through the paper, but trust me, we're going to be using all of this, every bit of it. Okay, so on my mark, so probably, since it 7 3/4, add another, you know, 1.5 inches to it. Okay, so that we'll put aside for my pockets and my tabs. And then, let me see, where's my pencil mark for the, okay. Well, we'll just mark it again. So we want about 1/2 inch, so right there. So then I'll just cut this. It's hard to see. Oops, this is not even. Oh, I don't need both papers, I only need one. Oh, I lost it again. There it is. Okay, hopefully that's right. Yep, okay. And then we'll save this for this one of the sides, and then we'll keep going on. Okay, now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this on. And we'll see how much we can get done today. You know, I don't know if I don't think we're gonna get past getting the papers glued on. I might even not even finish gluing the papers on at the rate I'm going. Okay, I want to make sure that I have a little at the top and a little at the bottom. Let me just flip this. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. Just get that glue nice and spread out. Okay, this comes over here, this comes over this way a little bit, and we can glue that on after. Okay, now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this here, right at where the hinge is, so that I can fold this up. And we'll glue this little piece down, and then I'll show you how I'm going to do the top, which is because, you know, I want a clean finish, but because there's that tab up there, you know, it can be a little harder, but I kind of worked around that on the last one, and I'll show you what I did. There might be a better way, because I don't want the manila part showing, so I want the paper to wrap over. Okay, so what I did is, I believe, first of all, let's cut this piece. Let me just put that over there and cut this piece, because this comes over where the hinge is. So I'm just lining up with the hinge. To get this to flip over, I just cut down on an angle to the, make sure I'm in, to the round part. Okay, so first thing, let's bring this over. Let's go ahead, and you know what, I don't need, let me take a little bit of this off. Is a little bit of, I'm just gonna angle this a little bit, because I don't want it in the way of the hinge. All right, so let's go ahead and fold this down. Kind of have too much paper here, but that's okay. And then the same thing here. And then I'll show you how I did that. I just literally came and pushed it, so you have this little, like a little triangle. I just pushed this down like this so that would be covered. And then I just flipped the whole thing down over the top, okay? So then, let me show you. That's, see how you get a nice finished look? So we got a nice finished look there. So, and then I just glued everything down. So, I mean, it would have been easier for me to just cut that right around there, but then the manila folder, you wouldn't have that nice clean finish. If you guys understand what I mean. I just like the nice finish. Okay, so that's the back. Now we want to do the inside. So let's find the paper that we cut off. And see, we're gonna go right up to there. Now I'm going to have to, now that I'm looking at this, I'm going to have to bring it up, and then we're going to have to trim around. So see that? We're going to have to just trim right around there. Actually, I can do that. Let me see how long we need it. Well, first of all, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and trim right around. And how long is this? It's not long enough for the side. So I just want to go right to the side, actually. So let me do the width first. So it's from hinge to hinge. And then I think this, do I want to, no, I want to go a little past the hinge. Because then when I cover my inside, since this is going to wrap around, yeah, I want to go a little past the hinge on each side. So I'd say leave an extra ½ inch, and I'll show you why. First of all, let me go ahead and glue this little piece down that we had. Whoops, too much glue. Or you could have cut that off, it doesn't matter. So we are going to measure here, leaving bring it over like a ½ inch on each side. That way when we lay the paper down, you'll see it. You get a better look. So let me go ahead and cut this piece down. Right there. And then that might work for the flap. I might have to get different paper for the flap. Okay, so that will be good. Then I'm going to go ahead and flip this back around. I'm holding this because I lined it up down here. I'm going to flip it back around, and I'm going to see, yeah, see I have so much paper here. I didn't really need this much. So I need to take, well, we'll just cut this off. We're going to just cut that right off. So what I'm going to do is I lined it up, okay. And then I'm thinking I might want to just go ahead and, I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and trace around this and then cut it. So then we have to make sure and line that up again. So let me make sure that this is perfectly lined up here, right where I need it. There's probably an easier way to do this. That's good. And now I'm just going to go ahead and trace right around here. And then I'll know where to cut. And I think I'll probably end up cutting right inside that. Oops. Hopefully this comes out nice. I don't remember how I did the other one, so that's the problem. All right, so let me cut that out. And actually I should cut it on the paper cutter because I can't cut straight. And straight across here. And then we will line it up and glue it. All right, let's just flip this over and see how that's going to look. Yep, let me do this little piece here. And then this little piece down here. And I think that's gonna look good. Let's see. Yep, we'll line it up right there. And then we've got a nice, see how that's almost seamless. It blends right in. It's a little bit long. Let me just take a tad off the bottom because I don't want it right up to the top. I gotta fold it a little bit to get this. There. Okay, so we'll go ahead and glue this on. And then I'll take a good look at that before I stop for the next one. Stop the, you know, part 1 to go to part 2. What papers we're gonna cover the sides with. Okay, that's plenty of glue, probably too much. That's how I roll. All right, right up there. I'll line her up and get up right as close to the top as I can. Good. That, see, that came out perfect down here. Taking that little bit off. Okay, so boy, it's taken a lot just to put the paper on this thing, huh? You would think all the decorating and stuff would be the time-consuming thing. Okay, now we're going to flip it back over and we're going to, let me look at the time. Up 37 minutes. Okay, I'm going to have to go, and then when I come back, this will be covered. So what I'm going to do, let me just show you quickly how I'm going to cover the sides. I'm going to find paper long enough, and it's going to be pieced here, but this is okay because this is going to be on the back, long enough to where it can flip over the side. So I'm going to have to get, so then it will, I'll cover this the same way. I'll do the flip the same way I did the back because this is still considered like the back. So that's what we're going to do there, guys. And then we'll come back and we'll cover, we'll probably just continue on with this, and then we'll do the folder when the whole folio is done. We'll come back and do the folder. So with that, I gotta say goodbye. Okay, have a blessed day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.